is what it is. Oh God, I gotta remember to stop hitting this doggone table. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How are y'all doing today? What's today? Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. I hope everybody is having a great day thus far. Some people may still be at work. Some people may be on their way home from work. But either way, you are in the land, as they say, of the living. So, what you gonna do? Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to fix something. Hold on 1 second. So, I have to send out a text message real quick before I get started. Turn my phone on silent. Okay, I'm all set. So, there's been a few things going on in the vlogosphere, as we say, that oh, let me fix this. Hold on, y'all didn't. Oh, give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm sorry. Just had the carpet clean, so it's a few things that haven't been done. I don't like this. I'm real petty and anal. I'm such a girl. Hold on, I'm about to pop it back on one more time. Okay. I should have did all this before I came on, but whatever. We're here now. And I ain't starting over. I had somebody over here and they were sitting in my chair, so I'm not sitting where I want to. However be the case, we're going to get started. So there's been a lot of things going on YouTube pertaining to Larry Reed. First of all, I apologize. Welcome to the Shine Talk Show. I am the host. Shine Talks. While I get this situated, please hit the like button. Whatever. Hey, hit that like button for me, you guys. Turn your notifications on for me. Comment as always, but please be respectful in the comments. And as always, if so, please. That sounded retarded. I came home from work. I had a day, so I had a little something before I came on. So please forgive me. If you would like, You can donate. Cash App is pinned below. And again, turn on your notifications. But most important, hit that like button. Even if you're watching the replay, hit the like button, please. Replay gang, hit the like button. Replay gang, hit the like button. Say hi as you come in so I can greet everybody and know who's here, and bush watchers, if you can hit that like button. Last video I did not know that it was to the side. Please forgive me. Whatever is there. Not changing it because I said what I said. So first of all, put a one in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me, just let me know because I don't want to be talking and y'all can't hear me. This is not a bash. This is not a I don't like somebody. Hey Murray. This is not a hey JP. This is not a one of them. I'm gonna say a lot. I'm going to let them speak for themselves. So we've been hearing Larry say a lot of things concerning him and Bishop Jordan. He gave his story. Well, first it was said that it didn't happen when a certain content creator brought it up. It was said to not have happened. Then we found out that wasn't true. So then he told his side of the story, which at the time, who did we have to listen to? No one else had said anything. Not too long after that, well, we heard in this order. Our lovely Bishop St. James posed a question to Prophet Manasseh Jordan concerning the pledge. Let's start here. I'm gonna start here because people act like they're crazy. You've been in church and the church anniversary is coming up and you made a pledge to pay a certain amount for the church anniversary. You do this because they try to keep like a count of what's coming in or what will be coming in. So you take your little envelope and you say, I pledge your name and the amount. Boom, give it to the church. From that point until the church anniversary, you pay on it. Some people reach their goal, some people don't. A lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot of people, some people put a goal that they want to reach. And then some pick the goal, write a goal that they know they can reach. Okay? So we're clear on what pledge is. No, there was not an $8 million check written out. There was a check written out, but no, it was not for the $8 million. By the end of the project, they will have paid, they're supposed to pay the $8 million. Okay? Clear. We're not going to play the word games like, oh, he wrote a check. That was clear. That was, you'll hear. So we heard St. James, shout out to St. James, asked Prophet Manasseh a certain question concerning the pledge. Prophet Manasseh then responded. His response was his response. We're going to listen to that. So first we're going to listen to Larry give his side of what happened. And then we're going to listen to Manasseh, his message concerning pretty much Larry. And then we're going to hear Bishop Jordan's side of this issue. Well, story. I'm not going to call it an issue because I don't have no fight in it. Then we're going to hear Bishop Jordan's take on it. Again, this is in their own words. I just want to bring to people's remembrance the things that have been said. There's 3 people. We all know there's, as they say, 3 sides to every story. And I don't have all them banners and stuff, so I'm gonna say fair use. This is for content reasons only. I'm not even going to, I might say something in between, but yeah, no, I'm not. It's not one of those types of parties. So I'm just gonna play everybody's part, and yeah. Again, we are not StreamYarding, so this is how we're gonna do it. I did speed it up some because Larry talks slow, but he talks fast. So I couldn't speed it up too much because then you just wouldn't understand. And I want you to understand it somewhat. So I want you to be able to hear it clearly. Again, no dig. I'm not trying to say not nothing, but what I am going to do is let you hear it from them. Hold on, let me get this. I'm sorry, y'all. We're going to get back to StreamYard, but I jumped in here first, and that's not. How about we going to do this? Boom. There we go. We'll turn the light back on later, but we don't necessarily need the light. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready? Let's go. So Larry has started off by telling how he was in Dubai and how he was in Dubai and what he was feeling, and how a lot of how he started seeing a lot about Jordan came about. I hope you can see it. You don't really have to see, it's more listening. So here we go, in their own words. We ain't playing.
Who is deceased, gone, that I never knew existed, who was saying the same thing I was. Something began to happen in me. It's almost like I was looking at me in the future that I had already lived. That's the best way for me to describe it. And I was so impacted. It was in my bones. It's almost like my bones were going like this, shaking in my skin. But on the outside, I wasn't moving. But I was so deeply impacted. When we came out of that building, what day is that? Can somebody find out what day exactly? Charlene probably know what day exactly we went to the museum. I'm pretty sure she still got notes. Can you find out for me, Nancy? You got Charlene's number? Okay, so then we walked out that building. I'm talking to Marco. So I'm engaging with him, but I'm telling you what's happening in the spirit. What's happening in the spirit? I heard what I used to bring you here is not what I'm using to take you there. And my entire sight You know, I can see my hand way up here, and my peripheral is really good, so I can see way almost behind me, the way my peripheral is set up. All of my sight was filled up with Bishop Jordan. That's the only face I could see. So I was confused. And Spirit said, look to your left. And I looked to the left, and I saw Bishop Jordan. I saw Apostle Elijah Forte, my mentor before him. I saw Honest Martin, his wife Catherine. I saw Edna and Kenneth Bond. I saw Bishop L.L. Stevenson and his wife Cassandra. Every person, Chicken, that ever were authorities impacted my granddad and my grandma that I lived with. I began to see everything, all the way back to my dad and mom, because they are my first spiritual parents, because they really birthed me into this thing. And I look back, and I came to Jordan. I know now, didn't know then, that was Spirit saying, it's complete. Your mentorship is complete. You are now a master. I know that now. But in the moment, I wasn't aware of all of what I was hearing, because I was so confused with Jordan. I'm like, well, why not? I had really been in the struggle for about 2 years at this point. So I was like, is it that serious? I thought that was the feeling I had, and yeah, I haven't been, it's been different, but Carlton's gone now. Jordan is by himself. I got to be the spiritual son, and that was something I was saying that I shouldn't have been saying, but I wanted him to feel endeared, because he had been done wrong, and Manasseh wasn't in his life. He told me many times how I caused him to forget how mentees and his natural son had hurt him. That was not his words, and he said that to y'all. So I'm not telling you something you don't know. So
I'm sorry. For somebody that he says he respects, hey Marcellus, he really throws a lot of shade at Bishop Jordan. It's real weird. You have to really listen to catch it. You really have to listen to catch it. He's really, never mind. I said I wasn't saying nothing. Let's go.
Yeah, I was split in two. So we left there. We ate. Ooh, that was so good. That place. Every time I go to Ghana, I try to hit one place. I always hit, but I really want to hit on 3 other places. And they just the meat. I can't eat a whole lot of beef here, but over there I can eat all the beef. I want that beef so seasoned. So anyway, I was going through it, and I was talking to everybody, and I felt on some level a level of confusion. It could make sense of it. It was November the 12th. Make sure you check that with Charlene before I jump. Oh, Nadia was with me. Nadia went on. I was playing on her arm with Scott. Nadia is the smoothest person on her face. Her skin is like, it make you jealous. See if you can find that out for me. If it's the 12th, I'm completely done. Because y'all know my numbers are 8 and 12. So anyway, I go to the room. I think I called the meeting because I knew, okay, that's it. But I was still a struggle, but I was a yes. Just like tonight, it's a struggle, but I was a yes. And so I started talking to the 12 that was there with me, and I started explaining. I didn't start talking until that was clear. So.
Okay, wait. I thought I was the only, okay. I knew I couldn't have been the only one that's noticing this coughing that it's really only a couple people. But yeah.
I came to my room out the blue. It was the 12th. That don't make sense. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. And that doesn't make sense. Lord, it's 11:32. Let me get up off this thing. Okay, so let me go faster. Bishop Jordan texted me out the blue and said, I'm not just read it, the part that I can read. All right, here we go. Let's scroll up. We text a little bit after now. November the 15th. So we went there the 12th. So you see the been some days, like I said. He texted me, it was 12 on the 15th in Ghana. And he said, I trusted the Lord. Your trip is running well. I said, hey, Bishop, life changing. I don't know if he picked up something, felt something, but it was about 7 or 8 or 9 hours later. And he sent me this long text. I'm not going to read it. But he basically said to me, we had an exchange where it was a little, and the exchange was as it was. And mind you, this is the second funny exchange. I'll tell you about the first one. No. This happened first. This happened first. So this is the first fund exchange. What ended up happening? By the time from the 12th to the time he texted me, I called Manasseh. I don't think Manasseh mind me saying this, and I said, Manasseh, if your father was no longer my mentor, will we still be friends? I basically saying, is this real or not? He was like, yeah, that ain't got nothing. That's my dad, but I don't care about I have a good time with Manasseh. He get on my last nerves, and I have to cuss him out. He cussed me back. We go back and forth. We don't talk for 3-4 months. Then we come back together because it just works.
You know how certain people, after you talk to them for so long or you listen to them for so long, you can tell when they lying. Like, certain people do certain things when they lie. Some people blink a lot, some people look off, some people's voices change, some people's tone change. Like a lot of things, like if you pay attention to people, you can, okay, let's go.
We know all each other. I ain't gonna say all, a few little secrets and stuff. We are really regular horizontal friends. So I enjoyed that because I always wanted a younger brother, and I never had one. So anyway, in that exchange, this was what was the first, what I believe to be was heaven's way of saying, Larry, do not get into your feelings and renegotiate this disconnect, because I will. Let me tell y'all that about me. I'm the person that obey what God say, but I struggle when I love somebody. I tend to get in trouble with heaven because I love people, and I go back on stuff, and then ultimately I'm gonna obey God, but I be hurting the person so bad because I done took them up and down and up and down and up and down. Like y'all saw me with Lisa. We got married, divorced. That was me. Because when I know this is what I need to do, but I love you so much. It's a lot. And I believe I probably would have done that because I want you to be very clear. I'm going to say it like this, and I know somebody can play with it. I was in love with him. He has never seen my pain. I ain't never seen his. None of that. And I heard that too as well. No, this is a spiritual, energetic. We talked on the phone 8 hours to 9 hours a day, several times a week. In 2000.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to be talking, but I'm hearing it again, and stuff is coming. Sapiosexuals are, yes, I'm part of the community, but I still don't know. But aren't sapiosexuals attracted to the mind? It's not sexual. Oh, okay. Come on.
End of 18, first part of 2019. Then it cut back to about 2-3 hours a day for 2019 and 20, because my kids came back to me. Yeah. So this is a relationship. Granted, I didn't see him all the time as much as everybody else, but we were in relationship. I was in covenant with him. Taruma, tight. I am no feelings about not a dime I ever gave. I gave it from my heart. I don't even know how people could, they're in relationships and they don't want none of this from that person. And I guess I do understand it, and they be wanting this back. Give me my money back. Give me my, okay. I don't know what that is, but I don't have that. And I actually think there's something wrong with that. Anyway, so that conversation, what he said to me was the exact opposite of what God had told me. So I said, okay, that's a confirmation. You're not gonna put this back. We're not gonna be as we were. Hopefully we still be friends and still have communication, because I like talking to who else I'm talking to about certain stuff. And so then another conversation happened. And this is where I'm gonna say this because Spirit, I believe, wants me to say this. And this may seem like a breach of privacy. I know it's not, because I'm sure he shared it. I know he shared it, actually. So I'm gonna say it. There was some lady, I don't know her name. See, I wasn't in Pone. I wasn't in Zoe Ministry, the church stuff they had going on. I don't know nothing except my dealings with Jordan and his family and a few others. So there was some lady that left their ministry. I don't know. Well, I do know. I'm just not saying. He said some things that made at least this woman, feel like, oh, he's voting for Trump. I don't want him as my pastor no more. So whatever it was, according to Bishop, he had to address it in his service online, because I guess it became a big thing. So his statement was, and see, this is a problem for me. It was a problem then, because we sort of got into it, and that's not abnormal. Men do that. He said to me, Manasseh, he says, because she done what she done and she moved the way she moved, I had to say something about it. He basically thought it was immature and she was improper and not moving correctly. Nobody really knows who he voted for. So I was like, I think it's improper to say she's immature just because she don't want you as her pastor anymore because she don't agree with the way that you voted. I said, that's her money, her time, her offer to give what she want to give it. And she feel like she don't want to give it to somebody that is aligned with somebody she think ain't right. That's her business. And we went back and forth a little bit. I can't remember. I don't think Vanessa was saying much. I think he could tell because they went back and forth. And then it was like, well, nobody, he told his people, nobody here knows who I voted for.
Okay. I don't know if it's just me, but when the person is telling a story and they can tell you every single thing, but then they be like, I think he said, I don't know, he might not have said nothing. How you remember the whole story so well, but you don't remember the story? No, Larry. Only you gossip and share personal conversations without getting permission. Absolutely. Okay. Let's go.
So to leave the ministry because you think I voted for Trump is da-da-da. So I said, Bishop, really? You voted for Trump. And they were like, no, nobody knows you want the ANC. I said, I won't behind the curtain in the booth with you. But we all prophets here. I know that you voted for Trump. Because see, by this time in between those days, I'm remembering stuff. And in that conversation, remember I told you earlier, Justin Edwards told me on the phone this second or the third, how you feel about your mentor voting for Trump? I said, he real, so he gonna vote for that. But I was in another headspace. But now what the universe was spinning in my favor now was giving me confirmations on an encouragement to maintain what God has spoke to me, which was to disconnect. And so that was a problem for me. I'm like, I said, I know you, this is what I said, and this was, it may seem disrespectful. I said, I know you voted for Trump. And the fact that you won't say you didn't let me know you did.
Get your highlighters. Write them sentences right there. Get your highlighter, get your highlighter.
It's like playing games. I feel like it was manipulative, and then I thought it was a manipulation of his people. I didn't think it was right. So that was a confirmation of me, no. I can't pull up with that type of manipulation. We talk a certain kind of way, at least, but I didn't know. Don't do that, no. And I'm giving you my money and calling you my personal property and pastor. I said, so that day, I didn't send another dime to Zoe Ministries at all. However, I still was doing Taruma because Taruma is tied to honor as well. And I wanted to honor him. I wanted to continue to honor him for those 5 years of 2019 to 2024 of mentorship. So I continue to do the Taruma. But conversations like pretty much stopped. I think one day when somebody was online saying, because Bishop had been on my platform for a long time, they were saying, oh, they broke up, they're not boyfriends no more, all this kind of stuff. And they were, this was the thing. They were online saying Bishop had bought my Rolls Royces, my Maybach, my S-Class Mercedes, bought this 15,000 square foot house. I mean, they're saying that Bishop would pay my bills because I was his boy. And I was getting interviewed by Conscious TV around that same time, so he brought it up. And he asked me. And I was sort of dancing around stuff, but when they told me that part about, him financing me, my ego wanted to set that straight. So I said, so how much money do y'all think that Bishop Jordan gave me? Now, I know the exact number. That him, his wife, and his ministry collectively, plus this $200,000 or $300,000 loan that we were supposed to get from his ministry. No, this is from him before the ministry. And we're supposed to make payments. All together, that came to about, from 2019, when I said yes to mentorship.
I'm not going to say it hasn't been said, but this is my first time hearing about a $200,000 loan.
Until November 2024, I knew that they had given about $800,000, including that loan money. I knew that off the top of my head. So I asked them, how much y'all think he gave? I said, he and his wife, the ministry, gave the ministry about, I can't remember what number I said. I think I had left out some money that said 700 or 6, but I later on cleared it up with 800,000. I said, somewhere around there. I said, that's how much money they have given to me, meaning the ministry, from 2019 to 2024. And I was saying, people read like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I said, you didn't ask me how much I gave to them. I said, okay, well, how much did you give to them? I said $3 million, about $3 million. So that just killed that whole Jordan giving Larry money thing. No, Larry giving Jordan money and my platform. And I'm glad I did. I did it with love, and I would do it again. But God said that was it. So anyway, that was a change, and that was laughing fun, these jokes, because it was lies, so we were laughing about it. But then this got real silent. But I did send him a Christmas offering. He sent me an umbrella. I said, okay, so we're gonna still be able to be friends. Because the position that I had took you guys by leading, that I thought in the beginning was not.
Okay. Are we paying attention to, we went from, you told him that he pretty much voted for Trump. The lady at the church kind of, whatever, but then you brought it back to you and you said, y'all was talking and then you wasn't talking, but then y'all, okay, so this trip to Dubai was in November. So y'all was talking, even when you were reading the text messages, you said y'all had talked in between, so either y'all talked or you didn't talk. Let's go.
Not wise. Me and Manasseh thought he thought it wasn't wise. But sitting here on this day, looking at everything happen, it was the best direction to take. I said, God told me to embrace him as a mentor because he asked me to mentor me. And I went prayed and got God's direction on it. I said, and God's telling me it's over. I'm just going to follow God. Stay nice friendship, but I got to start directing my money in the direction.
Okay. I've been following Larry for quite a while. When he first bought Bishop Jordan, he said that God told him that that was his mentor, and he left, I forgot who it was before that, and went with Bishop Jordan. And now Bishop Jordan asked you, and then you prayed about it. If I'm the only one that remember that, tell me, because if I'm wrong, I'm not above apologizing. Hey, Inspire. Let's go.
Because God told me when God told me about not using what came here there, it was like in between those days I began to get ideas about money, and that's when I began to talk to those around me about what I was going to be doing. So I didn't do another tithe. Now my tithe that came from the ministry, Lord, I'm only thinking about that. I'm not thinking about my personal tithe. I would send it to Zoe as well. But we talking several tens of thousands of dollars every month in a lump. And so I just stopped it and started redirecting it into what God said. And it just felt to me that something was breaking, and I didn't like it. I'm still doing my Taruma. I'm full blasting the word. I'm so locked into what God is telling me to do in Ghana and Dubai that I'm really not giving a lot of attention to it. And then at that time, Manasseh was upset with me about something, which is normal. So we won't talk for a little space in there. But then Manasseh called me on my birthday. Now, and me.
You just said a second ago that you, Manasseh, and Bishop Jordan talked or was in this thread, and y'all were talking, y'all were cool. Then you say, by that time, Manasseh was mad at you, but then he called you for your birthday. So November, December-ish, so December to February. I think his birthday in February? Or is it January? Y'all didn't talk. But he called you on your birthday. Okay, let's go.
Relationship, birthdays are very important. But long story short, what ended up happening was in January, I went to do my Taruma. I did it. That was the first time I felt something like I did something wrong. I felt like I had committed a sin. And I said, oh, that's it. I can't do Taruma no more. Oh, this might not go good. We might not end up, because I still wanted the relationship. I said, this might not work out. Okay. If it's a real relationship, we'll be all right. So then one day, I was just doing something and I thought of him and I just smiled. Because I love him. And when I went, oh my God, all my text messages for him just erased before my eyes. Mm-hmm. I didn't delete it.
Okay. Anybody who has an iPhone, you pretty much know how that works. And I'm just going to give my opinion. He was live. Somebody told Bishop Jordan he had already started reading text messages, and Bishop Jordan went and erased everything because you can't do that.
But I remember it. What I said was, I'm thinking about you. I love you. Miss you or something. He texted me back. You caused me to remember the pain of mentorship, which was totally different. I mean, he said opposite for years. I said, well, it's a lie. And he said, I will always look.
Okay, now, this is just a throw in. Did you see his body language change when those messages erased? Or was it just me? I do smoke, but I don't know. Let's go. But they said, TD Jake said that it was grooming.
Me too. And in that moment, I said, okay, something ain't right. So my response back was, look, with that response, there's something that's not right. Okay, look at somebody coming here talking about you don't feel like with Bishop Jordan too. But see, I don't fall out with people. People fall out with me. I just stopped embracing him as a mentor because I gotta obey God. That's what I do in my life. But that didn't, that's not falling out. So I texted him back. I said, okay, we gotta sit down. We gotta have a talk. When you saying that, something right? Let me know when, because he flies everywhere. I said, let me know where you're gonna be, Chicago, New York, so we can have a sit down and talk. That was the last time there was any communication between me and him. That was in January. My birthday came, there was no communication, which me and him have the same practice. A few days out from birthday, we'll survey our life. Every solar return, you should do that. Every solar return, and how people respond and show up in your birthday, let you know who need to be in your life for the next 12 months. So that was him, in my opinion, telling me it's complete or something. Okay, so I just moved on, and I didn't hear from no one. But Manasseh, it's funny, called me my birthday. I said, oh, we just brothers, and so I made a few comments, and I said, well, I told you that I'm coming to Atlanta, I'm stopping out and came out of the lab, cut up and down. So and that's still regular. But that is the timeline. That is what happened. You deserve to know that. Am I telling everything? No, because that ain't your business. But I did set Bishop Jordan on this platform over and over. He had conversations with us that were sort of black liberationists. And then you, bam, see this video. And I know that impacted you in a deep way. So we're having problems. This video ain't showing up. So that's why the other video ain't play. Yeah, so that's the...
Okay, so that Manasseh story, listen, I wasn't there. So if he says it happened, damn it. Sounds, but I mean, I don't have my glasses on. If the Teruma felt like a sin, what does the rest of his foolishness feel like? Mari? Yeah. So he got dumped on New Year's after. Oh! They do that. They do that. But he said they wasn't, whatever. Okay, so now we're going to go to, it did not, okay, so Bishop Jordan responded to this about a week and a half ago. But I just seen it yesterday. So I saw Manasseh's message first from on St. James channel. How funny is that? Okay, so St. James, I'm playing this. No fair use, all of that. Like, this is for content reasons only, and yeah. So, let me get to this. So I'm gonna let St. James tell his story. I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let St. James tell it. The bishop is going to speak. Hit that like button for me, you guys. Turn your notifications on. If you feel free or feel so led to, hit that Cash App that's pinned below. Let's go. St.
Are
James
we clear,
always
Prophet
starts
Manasseh?
off. Okay.
Jordan is now? Okay. And I usually don't like to, I don't like to read or anything, messages or anything that I get from people that I talk to in the back end, but I did ask permission, and I asked if it was okay. And Prophet Manasseh gave me permission to read this. And
Some that's a lesson learned. Don't just put people's stuff out like that. If you're giving content on it, then that's different. But if you talk to somebody behind the scenes, because here's the thing, and somebody tried to say something real funny, don't be funny, because the truth of it all is there are more content creators that contact people for input or stories or their take, especially those who are connected to the story, so that they can give clarification on the story or give another, give their, side. So don't be funny talking about people digging for stuff and trying to, he said what he said, he did what he did. Just like other content creators. Let's go.
share with you what I wrote and then what he wrote, okay? I said, Prophet, can you give me some talking points in regards to the $8 million donation to VUU by your father? I just want to make sure I am properly describing the donation, okay? We seem reasonable? Okay. So, Prophet Manasseh says, St. James, grace and peace. Before I respond to your request, I want to be very transparent. As a family, we've made a conscious decision to distance ourselves from the blogging and podcast circuit, especially, are you listening? Ray, are you listening? Especially after the unfortunate betrayal that took place during Larry's podcast.
He said that. Manasseh said that. Not St. James.
Where my father was publicly dissected by someone who had once been mentored, in parentheses, while he was sleeping on an apartment floor with no bed and warmly embraced by us. Let me go back up, just in case you guys didn't hear what Prophet Manasseh said. They wanted to distance themselves from blogging and podcast circles, especially after the unfortunate betrayal that took place during Larry's podcast, where my father was publicly dissected by someone who had once been mentored while he was sleeping on an apartment floor with no bed and warmly embraced.
Read.
That moment solidified the feeling that many of these platforms thrive on distortion and dishonor. And we've grown weary of lending energy to them. Did you hit the like button? And he goes on to explain the $8 million donation. Do you hear me, Clarinda? Do you hear me, Jacqueline? Good to see you. Do you hear me, Nicola? The $8 million donation made to Virginia Union University by my father was specifically for the founding of the Jordan Institute of Digital Theology and Technology. The vision behind this initiative is to pioneer the integration of artificial intelligence in ministry and to create a space for technological literacy within the Black Pentecostal Church, a space that has often been undeserved in these arenas. As you know, my father, thank you so much, Jamie P., for that, for the color, and we only need 4 more. As you know, my father has always been unapologetically pro-Black. Remember we heard a narrative? There was a narrative being spun. Oh, Queen Anne Brock. He came through. As you know, my father has always been unapologetically pro-Black, deeply committed to empowering historically marginalized communities, especially within the church. While this donation happened to receive public attention, I must stress, this is just one of the many acts of generosity he has made that were never broadcast. Thank you so much, LP, for putting the color on it. I appreciate you. Didn't I tell you I found it really strange? Thank you, Ephesians, for putting the color on it. Didn't I tell you I found it really strange that a father can be betrayed? Thank you, Ray, for putting the color on it. Good word or T or whatever. Shut up. I said I found it a little strange. But the narrative was being spun that they were good with the Manasseh and the children. Thank you so much, Erica. She said, my.
They did.
I said, I find it strange because somebody come out on my mother. You see how I dissed that other one that said something about my mother? We not good. It's a done deal, baby. I don't mean talk about my mom. It's a done deal. I found it strange that all of a sudden Manasseh would be okay and still be friends and buddies and associate with Larry after that broadcast. And I guess my discernment was working overtime. Thank you so much. I met the goal. Thank you, Shell, for that. We met our goal. I appreciate you. Y'all can continue to support the program. I found it strange. The Institute will serve. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I will not, never. Thank you so much, JP. It's burning my tongue. Well, sip it, blow it, JP, blow it. The Institute will serve as a hub for future leaders, ministries, and visionaries to be equipped with both spiritual and digital tools for the next generation of ministry. We believe it's time the church no longer lag behind innovation, but instead lead it with anointing and strategy. Respectfully, Prophet Manasseh Jordan.
What can you what can you say? The whole, oh, he was trying to be messy. No. You heard what the question was. You heard what his response was. And when he ended it like that, that kind of meant, and don't ask me nothing else. Like, that's it. So,
because I know there's some stuff that's going on in social.
hold on. I got it. Okay. So, there's not much to say about that, but here's Bishop Jordan in his own words.
Is it the dot appeared? The dot appeared.
Now, because I know there's some stuff that's going on social media and stuff about,
This
Bishop Jordan
coffee.
giving someone his sister or whatever. Like, many people have had my sisters, but didn't practice my principles.
Correct.
That
That's
part.
very true.
That part.
So this now gives us something to look at here, because I know Dr. Reed did some things online and he was talking and said how, he was blessed under this, but he heard the spirits.
Okay, so you heard him say all the cats. I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. Father and Jesus. Can you hear me? Can you hear it? Oh, coughs. You heard him name Reed, Larry Reed. So I don't want nobody to be like, oh, he wasn't talking about, he named him. So we know who he's talking about. Okay, let's go.
To break away, right? So we have not had a conversation about that, but we got word that this was happening.
Let me move this out the way real quick. You heard Bishop Jordan say that they had not talked about this they got word of it. Okay, hold on, cause I don't want nobody to say I was. We gonna listen to that again.
Did some things online. He was talking and said how, he was blessed under this, but he heard the Spirit say to break away, right? So we have not had a conversation about that, but we got word that this was happening. What's interesting about this is that the Lord keeps saying, because you're going to always be challenged in the area of covenant. Yes, and that's good. And I just can't find nowhere in Scripture where God ever tells a person to break away from your father.
Right.
True. Right?
Absolutely.
You leave your father's home, but they're eternally your father.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You never break.
Right.
You leave to continue the progenitor,
Absolutely.
continue the offspring. Jesus left heaven but never broke from the Father.
Right. That part.
And then he said, return back unto me the glory that I once had. So when we have spirits that speak, we must try the spirit by the spirit,
That part.
right? The Lord never told me to break away from Bishop Roy Brown.
Right.
I left to do what I had to do at Reverend Ike, and I spoke with him, and he gave his blessing, understood. And then when Reverend Ike moved on to the next reiteration of his life, I went back to my father and said, would you have me back?
Wow.
He says, not only would I have you back,
Never left.
I've never left.
Right. Yeah.
I was just in the next realm of my assignment,
Absolutely.
right? When you leave right, you don't make leaving wrong.
Right.
I'm gonna let him say that again. I'm gonna let him say that again because protocol is important. That's integrity. This is good. Lord, pray, my Lord, and thank you, Marcellus. We gonna let him say it again.
Spirits that speak, we must try the spirit by the spirit,
That part.
right? The Lord never told me to break away from Bishop Roy Brown.
Right.
I left to do what I had to do at Reverend Ike, and I spoke with him, and he gave his blessing, understood. And then when Reverend Ike moved on to the next reiteration of his life, I went back to my father and said, would you have me back?
Wow.
He says, not only would I have you back,
Never left.
I've never left.
Right. Yeah.
I was just in the next realm of my assignment,
Absolutely.
right? When you leave right, you don't make leaving wrong.
Right.
Absolutely.
But when you leave wrong, you got to make it wrong. You know, like if a person want to leave a church, I said, if you're going to leave, just have this conversation with your pastor or your priest. Let them know that you feel like you're going to move on, and you'll have a discussion.
Right.
They may even, number one, they may have the witness and their witness
Absolutely.
and give you wisdom on how to make that move.
Absolutely.
Because we keep thinking that when God moves, there's an either or. But when God moves, oftentimes there's a both and.
Yes, sir.
But our finite mind makes Exodus wrong, right? That's the finite. So when we are dealing with the Teruma, make sure you have a priest that understands this. That's number one.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you break the covenant, it is not God doing anything, and it's not the devil.
Right.
You have a torn covenant, right? And so in the heart of hearts, with that, when a covenant is torn, as a father, all you can do is see them from afar off while they are moving in a far country, sometimes in a foreign land, right? Not making it wrong, but noticing it through observation. Now, here's the powerful thing about this.
Y'all caught that right. I'm gonna let him say it again. Bishop, I don't fool with you much, but when you're right, honey,
While
you're
they are
right.
moving in a far country, sometimes in a foreign land, right? Not making it wrong, but noticing it through observation. Now, here's the powerful thing about this. You have to let your teruma be that visible part of your faith.
Absolutely.
Right.
I must know that you're sacrificing to a holy priesthood.
Absolutely.
right? Because I'm connected with that. Because whatever spirit or entity you connect with, you allow that into your house. And that's what's got to be discerned. Like I finally saw the movie Setter. Yeah, I finally saw it. This was a powerful point I got out of it. The vampire couldn't just come in.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
That part, that's
They had to be
Invited.
Invited.
So I want to say to you that you have every right, as your supervising priest, to say, Master Prophet, what are we inviting in? And you have that divine right? Because you bring your tithe, I got to pay them.
right.
You know, where are tithes being paid? Well, Prophet said this, he keeps records. And
Absolutely.
It says, these are where your tithes are going. This is where it's being paid, so that you're clear about how they're paid. What ministries we bless, we stretch into. That's why your thing can go to double platinum
Absolutely.
and sung around the world. That's why Dr. Reed at the time, when he was doing that, was because when I took that tithe, that was the most serious thing. I put that to the side.
Your principle.
I had to put the principle. Not only did I put the principle to the side, but I had to say, these people has trusted me with their seed. I got to take it off the top. That's why we went.
He
Okay,
did.
now this is what we're going to be doing, just as a family and as a community, with an HBCU,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And that announcement was made, and we started that in good faith. And there's other things that is the ongoing process. Amen. And that's why we put down the earnest money. We have a covenant, an agreement that we're doing each year, which we're actually doing beyond what we are asked to do each year. But we're doing that out of the wilderness of the heart. And you, the people, get to see not only the spirit, but the entity to which we serve. But what I also saw in that movie, if one person that is in the house invited the vampire, let me sip some tea.
Right.
Can we just sprinkle the word bloodsucker?
Bishop Jordan. Whoo, the way the reading with the clarifications, epic. You gotta be right. He's not wrong. With him being his covering, them not having this conversation about him moving on, leaving the right way. You have to leave the right way so that you can come back, which is how, as Mari said, Manasseh was able to come back. That's what happens. When this is how I remember it. When you, let's say you graduated and went to college. When you went to wherever you went and you joined a church, you joined under watch care because you were going back home. Now, if you decided to stay there after graduation and whatever, then you ended up joining the church. But you always talk to your pastor. When I left, not only because of the positions that I was in, but when I left both churches, I had a meeting with my pastor. Just in case I have to come back. I needed him to know, or them to know, hey, this is not about you. I feel like God is leading me to go here. So that's what I did. I did go back. And there was no problem. There was no confusion. I was able to go back to my home church with open arms. Bishop Jordan clearly said that they've never had this conversation, which means that you left wrong. he doesn't know where your covering is. So as a father, he's concerned. Let me read some of these comments. I feel like we on a long journey through church. He did mention that for a reason. I'm going off script, but do the Father take on the books of the sons? Change the play. It is a very familiar thing. Sounds like it's only business. Yeah. What's the bloodsucker? He's accountable for involving Larry in that vampire comment. Yeah, like Jordan is talking, so you gotta listen to him, but he's talking. Okay, let's go. It's not a lot left.
It wrecked the entire house.
That's a drop the mic right there. I'm sorry.
And so I consider the seed sacred, and it's still sacred. And so I want to know, who are you lifting up? And if there is a lifting up, the Rashid is a sacred beginning. It's a sacred part.
That's correct.
All tithes are not first fruit. Is it a sacred part? If you're doing this, the priest is not a charity case.
That's correct.
Right.
Let's make that clear. Paul made that clear. He says, listen, you're not giving because I have need, because I'm bound, but you're giving that there may be fruit where? In your account. So the priest is not a charity case. The priest is your elevation agent.
Absolutely.
That's it.
When you break away from your priest, you better make sure you have the next elevation agent
Absolutely.
that God has assigned you to, and be very clear that you're on an assignment. When the Lord sent us into Chicago, we knew that this was an assignment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then God confirmed his word with signs following. What's the revelation I got out of Chicago? The revelation I got out of Chicago, you don't reap where you sow, but you reap what you sow.
Yes, sir.
You don't.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's the revelation. Lorando, you've been out there a couple of times with us, and you've been working with them there.
Absolutely. And you operate, I watch you operate, I see you operating in what I call continued consecration. Right? Because
Revelation I got out of Chicago.
I'm gonna let him say that
The
again.
revelation I got out of Chicago, you don't reap where you sow, but you reap what you sow.
yes, sir.
You don't.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Okay, so you can go over to Zoe Ministries and read the rest. So there you have it. We heard what Larry said out of his own mouth. We heard the words from Manasseh. And then we have the words of Bishop Jordan himself. Whose report will you believe? So, when people give commentary on stuff, or when you come, sometimes it's better left just not saying anything, because there's always social media, and somebody's gonna find it. Thank y'all. Thank you, Inspire. Thank y'all for sticking and staying. That's all I got. I don't have nothing to say. I just wanted people to hear what they said themselves. This is Shine Talks. Hit that like button if you have not. Subscribe if you have not. Turn your notifications on. Because you just never know when I'm going to pop on. And last but not least, hit the Cash App that's pinned below if you so please. Hey, replay game. Hit the like button. Thank you, JP. Hit the like button. Replay. Hey, hit the like button. Replay game. Hit that like button. And also, you can hit the Cash App if you so please. $ itshine74, ITSSHUN74. That's all for now. I'm out of here.